My name is Richard Wierenga. I'm a Power Platform lead at Blis Digital. Want to connect? Find me on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, you can ask them there as well. So we had a lot of users that wanted to, we are developing a lot of Power Page projects, and we had a lot of end users. They wanted to edit the forms themselves without doing a deploy of the solution and editing all the fields in Dataverse in the backend. So we wanted to give the users the possibility to edit forms in a model-driven app. So we created a separate form editor that can also work without a proper Dataverse scheme and store all the answers inside a multi-line text column. We created a PCF control for that. The end users could build their own dynamic forms with drag and drop functionality. The form definition is stored in a JSON single line text inside Dataverse. And you can use the JSON string to render it in a Power Page, in a model-driven app, or in a Canvas app. So we were developing a lot of different apps with changing forms. So people were asking for new columns every time, or wanted to remove something or anything like that. And we wanted to deploy these new forms without deploying the whole app, and develop a standardized way for multiple environments. So inside the built-in forms, a form is linked to a table. The fields must be Dataverse columns. The forms need to be recreated for each app type, and they are created by admins or environment makers. The logic can be complex, but you do have built-in security with column level and row level security. For our solution, we store the form definition in a column. Fields can be bound to Dataverse columns, or answers can be stored as JSON. The JSON definition can be reused. The downside is no field level security, and JSON could be complex for end users. But in the end, we built a drag and drop editor. That is a PCF control. You can put it inside your model-driven app. You have the ability to drag and drop fields, and an admin or a model-driven app maker can define the fields that the users can use and the properties of those fields. On the screenshot, you see a very basic version, but you can make it as complicated as you want. The field properties are also stored in JSON and configurable. Some properties are required, but others can be added by the admins. You can export the forms from the editor or from the table. And inside the editor is also a JSON editor in the form builder. So quick demo. I've created a Canvas app where the JSON is loaded and a Power Automate workflow to store the results. We go here. Inside the form, you can add a new form field, which is a PCF component. This form field, you can you go to components and select the form builder. You have a field definition schema. If you open that, I'll show it quickly here. You can define the ID, what kind of properties and fields you want to add to your form, and also all the placeholders, if it's a multi-line for a text or lengths, etc. You can define a lot of different columns, and you can put it in the static value of the field definition schema, and it will show on the left-hand side. And all the properties, if you select a property or a field on the right-hand side, you'll see the properties you can edit for that specific field. In the field name, you can put in the Dataverse column name, so you can link it to a Dataverse column. And in the end, if you save the form, you see here in the form JSON, you see the JSON that is the form definition. I go to my Canvas app and I load the form. It will show the fields I just added. And if you submit the form inside the Canvas app, it will store as a JSON inside an answer column. And you'll see it's stored as a key value pair inside this. And inside the Power Automate workflow, I get all the required information and send an HTTP request to Dataverse to store the results. We've also, for Power Pages, created some more complex forms where the end users are recreating or creating these forms. And on the right-hand side, you see a visualization of the form in Power Pages. So, thanks for your time.